Hey there, what's up, everybody? We have another match here for you today as we take on Wolfsberger in the next round of the Europa Conference League. I've got you here on the screen once again because we got one more person to introduce you to, and this is Kelvin Abrefa. We actually bought him last season. It was in the January, I think it was, transfer window. We got him for not too much money. He's looks like a fairly good right back. Yeah, 4.75 million renminbi from Reading, I think it was. And he hasn't played really a game for us. He hasn't had a start for us at all. And the reason why is because he had it would have been three teams last season. And so he spent his time playing on the under 19, or I'm sorry, in the under 21s, where he did an excellent job and was scoring or getting assists, scoring goals as well. Kept getting incredible ratings. And the reason why we weren't able to put him to the first team is simply because of that rule that says that you can't play for more than two teams in the same season. And anyway, so he makes his first start for us here. We are home this time against Wolfsberger, and that is potentially a problem because I would much rather start on the road in one of these two-legged matches than start at home. I really hope that we can get a major lead and that we can build up some sort of insurmountable lead after a huge victory so that we put all the pressure on them. Otherwise, if we have to go back to Austria and we have to beat them in a close match or something like that, I'm not sure how much I like our chances. And so here you go with the kneeling and all of the other interesting things that happened at the beginning of the Conference League. I think we ought to be doing some kneeling and praying ourselves here before this one. We'll hope that we get a good performance from some of these guys. And we'll see what happens. Must be a long way, by the way, for Wolfsberger to travel to get all the way out here. And they must feel happy that weather's not too bad here since it is early August, of course. And as Ployman with the good tackle, and we win the ball back, and that is the end of the highlight. Once again, a little bit under 20,000 people here at this match. It's wet. It's not raining, but it was raining earlier today. Abrefa with the throw over to Zhong Sangbin. Zhong Sangbin back to Abrefa. Abrefa moves backwards to Lavia. Lavia now beats his man and takes a shot from range, and that's not going to trouble anybody, and that is out for a goal kick. Abrefa in here for another throw over to Delphi. Back to Abrefa. Abrefa now moves up forward to Lavia, back to Wade, and Wade has a shot from range. And so we've seen both of our defensive midfielders take these sort of kind of wistful, somewhat wild shots from far out there. Neither of those shots were anywhere close to anything, and we're kind of struggling here to get some sort of offense, and this is exactly what I was worried about. We have some problems with this team. I didn't mention this, but we are in the middle of a sort of an injury crisis, especially after Changbin being got injured, which means that we only have really, I think, two, maybe three strikers here on this Europa League squad. I wish we could have more than 25 players. Lavia now over to Delphi. Delphi up to Ployman. Ployman beats his man just barely and has a shot on goal, and that was really, really close to being a goal, and unfortunately for him, it just doesn't go through. Delphi wins this one off his man over Zhong Sangbin back to Lavia. Lavia moves it forward. We're trying to stay onside. Back to Abrefa. Abrefa, and he has another one of these shots from range, and that's just not going anywhere even close to where it should be. And here's Anzolin with the throw in for them. Zhong Sangbin wins it off of him, and back to Lavia now. Over to is Wade with it, and there's another shot from range that goes out for a goal kick. So we've seen this over and over again. We can't get the ball into our strikers, and we have a problem now. Is Myers here for Wolfsberger taking this corner, and it was Abrefa who knocked it loose, and fortunately for us, that has been blocked by Mwanta, of all people. So that shows you sort of how desperate we're playing defense when we've got our striker up there trying to block the shot. Lazio is able to block that one backwards a little bit, and that has gone out for a goal kick. I think that was offside that was called in the end. And it is Wolfsberger now with the ball as they have it in their own deep in their own zone, and we need to get the ball off of them. Baumgartner now over to Maya. And he takes it past our man, and boy, that looked really bad. Where was Liu Xiaoziyang on that one? That looks really, really bad, and this is exactly what I was worried about here. So Baumgartner took this forward, pushed it over to Meyer, and the defense doesn't really know whether it's going forward or backwards, and it was back to Baumgartner, and that was slightly deflected. Still a bad job by Liu Xiaoziyang, who should have gotten in front of that one, and that doesn't make me happy at all. It was sort of with a little bit of hesitation, I decided to start him and leave Li Changyi for actual cup matches. Yeah, we're having some problems here with our defense, and it looks like Lazio is having a really, really poor match, and this is not what we wanted to see, and I am really upset. I am really upset with this team. They should be playing better. And we're having a bad game from, looks like it is Paul Wade who's having a bad one. We're going to put Lee Jin-young out there. He hasn't started yet here. And Lazio's coming off after that. It was garbage. Put Paulson back on. And I think we're going to put Park Myung-sung on for Abrefa. So as you can see, we have kind of a reduced bench. And we better hope that we can get something out of these boys because we need a victory. If we lose this one, we're really in trouble. And we may be out of this Europa League really, really quickly, or this Conference League really, really quickly. And it is Wolfsberger again with a free kick. Park Myung-sung goes back to get it. Passes to Liu Xiaoziyang as a real dangerous pass. He moves forward looking for Jung Sangbin, just can't find him. Delphi then brings it down over to Mwanta. Back to Lee Jin-young, over back into Paulson, over to Lavia, back to Lee Jin-young, over to Mwanta. Back to Kashin, over to Mwanta again, to Jubin. Now we're looking a little bit better. Lee Jin-young now has it. Over to Jubin. Jubin has the pass inside to Mwanta, who explodes on the shot, and unfortunately that one goes wide. That was a really good movement, though, and that's, I think, the first real shot on goal from a striker we've had in this one, and he's clearly onside. And, I mean, he just takes it with the wrong foot. That's all it is. If he moves that just a little bit over to the side, that's going to be a clear and easy path and shot on goal. Mwanta now takes it from Park Myung-sung, kicks it back to him. Park Myung-sung now moves it up to Ployman over to Lee Jin-young, and Lee Jin-young shows the other defensive midfielders how to shoot, and that one forces the save, and that was much, much better done. Lee Jin-young now with the corner. I have a little bit of hope now, and looking for Paulson, can't quite find him, and it's Ployman there who takes the wild first-time shot. It's all right. It's worth a try. Bad game from Wanta, bad game from Delphi, and the problem is we don't have anybody to come on. Meyer here takes it out for Wolfsberger, and boy, that was close to 2-0. We'll take another look here in a couple of minutes once we get to the 60-minute mark and see what substitutions need to be made, but this is looking pretty poor. And I'm really worried about it, as I said before, because we have one bad match, and then we're really, really up against it. And here we go. So we're going to scream at these guys again and try to get them to do something. I'm not certain that's going to have any sort of effect. You can see the problem that we have. I mean, we don't have a full complement on the bench. Mwanta is having probably the worst game of his career, but who do we put in for him? We're probably going to do this. We'll put Delphi in here, and we'll put Gustavsson, I think, back out there on that right wing, and hope that does something. Jung Sangbin has also decided not to show up, so let's see what we can do. We have another half hour to go. That Mwanta is going to get a fine for this. Is ridiculous. The prediction for him in the league is to be the best scorer and the best player in the league. I'm not sure about that because we haven't seen him show up in any of these matches so far. Ployman over to Lee Jin-young, back to Ployman. Ployman has the cross in looking for Delphi, and that's knocked back for a corner, so at least that's something. And it is Lee Jin-young now with the corner. And he moves back and takes it forward. And looking for Kashin, can't quite find him. I'm surprised Lee Jin-young's not offside there, as he just stood there. Lavia there goes back to Lee Jin-young. Lee Jin-young beats his man slightly and then loses it. And it was a pretty poor touch from him. And I guess we're going to see this again. I'm not sure how this was a clear-cut chance at all, because we didn't have the ball really anywhere close to a shot. I mean, I guess that was all right. We can watch Delphi kind of knock it out of bounds. Poor match from Delphi as well, and this is getting to be a little bit scary. We're going to make another change here in a second, and let's see what we can do. So we are still upset with this team for not playing well, and this time we're going to put Gustavsson up there, and we're going to take Delphi off. We're going to put in, do we want to do this? We're going to put Boria in there, who's a recent new signing, and see if that'll give us some sort of energy and some sort of spark. So Boria is another new signing. I think he comes from, was it Real Madrid's B team, something like that. Very, very good corner, and that one is almost knocked in there for a goal from Kashin, and he just can't get quite around onto employment now with the kick over, looking for Juby and can't quite find him. And this one goes back out, and it's Kashin who gets a foot back onto it, looking for Juby, and it goes up to Gustafsson. Unfortunately, we're not able to corral that one. Baribo's got to be offside, and yeah, there's the flag. It's offside by about a mile. Kashin now with the kick over to Lavia, over to Boria. Boria looks forward, finds Jong Sangbin, who completely wastes the chance. It's back to Kashin, over to Park Myung-sung, over to Lavia again, back to Paulson. Finds Park Myung-sung. Park Myung-sung down to Lavia, over to Paulson. Paulson down to Kashin, over to Lavia. Lavia looks forward again for Jong Sangbin, who just doesn't have the speed to get there, which is surprising again. I mean, I know that he's fast. I know that he's fast from watching highlights of him and seeing him play in other matches. He just decided not to show up today. And there are going to be many, many fines levied after this one, because this is an absolutely ridiculous performance. We should be dominating this match. And instead, we can't even seem to get the ball back. We can't seem to have any sort of possession. And, I mean, we're going to see this. Every player who gets under 6.6 in this one is going to be fined. I'll tell you that. I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to do that to these guys. And it's going to be a loss for us. Our first home loss in a actual competitive match that we've seen. And, boy, we're really in trouble. Tomorrow's match should be pretty interesting. And I will see you there with that one. Talk to you later. Bye.